Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna do a lot of little things that needs to be done on the Maverick. I got the radiator in, the wiring harness. I'm still waiting for the engine harness and the body harness, but I've always had the starter or the charging harness, and I already went through and checked the wires and took out the stuff I didn't need and rewrapped that up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the starter hooked up, the alternator hooked up, put the alternator bracket on, put the radiator in, put the transmission mount on, and maybe I may be leaving some things out, but I'm just tying up a lot of little stuff on the car. And when the engine harness come, we can actually get the intake, the upper intake put on. I can get everything wired up under there, and I'll pretty much be done with the engine bay at that time. So I'm just putting a lot of little stuff on it today just to get it's starting to come together. So let's go up to the shop. Okay, so up at the shop, and one of the things that I forgot to mention inside of my intro is I'm going to be trying to work on this shifter rod also. My plan is to keep the column shifter. It'll be a lot easier. So this is the bracket that comes off of the column shifter. It's too long, so it won't fit in there now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this and bring this closer to that and weld it back together, and that'll give me some room in there to get the shifter. And looks like the only thing I have to worry about is keeping this offset. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut and weld it back together. Okay, so I didn't record much, but I did cut the shifter linkage. And what I do now, or what I'm doing now, is I got it kind of mocked up. If you see right there, I got a little rubber hose holding it together. I didn't weld it yet because I want to get the adjustment right. So I put a piece of rubber hose on both ends to put it together, just to test out how the movement of the shifter is going to be. So I'm about to test that out now, and just to make sure that my shifter is moving like it's supposed to before I weld it. Okay, so just trying to adjust the shifter. I got the shifter pulled all the way down in what would be 1, I think. Yeah. So it's all the way down in what would be 1. And this is where my adjustment is. So I'm about to pull it all the way back up now and see if that rod moves. And then I can know how I need to adjust it from there. I'm just going to leave the camera pointing up. I'm working by myself, so I can't see it move. So I'll leave the camera pointing up, and I'll come back to it and see how it goes. Okay, so I see that it moved. It's all the way up now in park, and I can kind of see how it's moving. So now I can work with my linkage to go to the transmission back here. Try to see how I'm gonna get that. So, all right, I'll come back to the video. Okay, so got the compressor running in the back, so try to talk loud. I got my transmission lines on. The shifter rod, I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, but it's not working like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna have to come back and do something with that. So what I'm doing now is just gonna put the transmission lines on, jack the transmission up, put the cross member on, and figure out how to route these wires. Okay, so I got the cross member in, and you saw where I got the transmission cooler lines in. Just like I said before, I got to figure out something with this shifter cable or shifter rod. I'm gonna put this on so I don't lose it, because I might end up having to use this, or just hang it right there. And also, let me show you what I did. I didn't bolt the radiator in yet, but I got the radiator right here. Put the alternator bracket on. So it's coming together slowly, but it's coming together. I'll show you what I did with the transmission cooler lines. So right now, I just got them ran up under here, and they're gonna go to the bottom of the radiator right there. I just got them right up under here, zip tied to that, and I'm gonna have to get them up off of the steering linkage. So, but once I get them hooked up, I can always move them around. Also need to tighten up the wires on my starter, so I put them on there. You can see them right in there. I put them on there, but I just need to tighten them up, and let me go ahead and do that before I forget about it. Okay, trying to figure out something with this shifter link. I think I'm gonna try to work on that. I'm definitely gonna have to fabricate something to get it to work, so I may not do a lot of recording. I just might come back to it and record once I get a solution. So I'm just trying several things right now. Okay, so still working on this shifter linkage. It's been 3 days now. I've been working on the shifter linkage for 3 days, and let me show you the issues that I'm having and what I've done so far, and I think I have a solution now. All right, problem that I was having is the shifter arm right here. All right, so I had it originally, I had it down like that, and with it being like that, two problems. One, I didn't really like it hanging that low, and two, my actual shifter linkage that goes to the column shifter was designed to pull a different direction. So basically, park was all the way up on the column, and park is all the way up on here. So when you move your linkage, it pushes it the wrong way. So this arm, if you can see now, is straight. It was bent, and I'll put a picture in to show you how it used to look, but it was bent, so I heated up with the torch to straighten it up, because what I want to do is now I want to bring it up, because if I put it up, it will, if I put it up, it'll push in the right direction. But the problem I was having is it didn't clear the floor. So what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep it up, but I think I'm going to make this longer and turn it to the inside so that my shifter linkage can go that direction up through there, and I think that should work. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I think that should work. So hopefully I can put this linkage stuff behind me and get going with the rest of the stuff. So let me go ahead and start working on that now. Also, there's no aftermarket stuff that I could find that would work for this. I bought one aftermarket shifter linkage, and it's just nothing works. No one really puts these updated overdrive transmissions into these older cars like that. So there's not a lot of stuff that's designed to do it. I mean, you can do it with Mustangs. There's more stuff for Mustangs than there are for Mavericks, but there's not a lot of stuff. So a lot of stuff's just gonna have to be custom made. So, and that's what I'm dealing with now. So I also got to cut this bracket down. As you can see, this bracket is going to be too tall, so I'm going to have to cut that down and re-weld it to make that shorter. And also the engine fill, the oil fill tube, I'm going to have to cut that down to make that shorter. So I got a lot of little stuff I need to do. I'm going to get it done. It's just a matter of working through it. My wiring harness should be here shortly, so I need to try to knock out all this little stuff so I can get to the wiring harness, because once the wiring harness come, I should be ready to finish this whole engine part off. So okay, so I may have something that works here. Instead of making that longer, I decided to make it shorter, and it'll miss this whole transmission tunnel. So I just welded that on there. Again, I guess welds are not the prettiest, so I'm gonna grind it down and paint it, make it look better. But anyway, I think it'll work. It's kind of close up in there, but I think it may miss it, or if it rubs it, it may rubs it slightly, which may not cause an issue. But that should give me the clearance I need for the shifter rod, and so I'm going to go ahead and work on the rest of it right now. So instead of going longer with it, I actually needed to go shorter with it, and that hopefully that solves my issues. Okay, so if you look down there, and I'll show you again from up under, I got something mocked up that works for the shifter linkage. I'm still waiting on the part that connects it to the column, but let's go up under so I can show you what I got mocked up. And I'm gonna make it look better, but I just want to make sure it works first. All right, so I got that going back to that, and it goes through the gears. Just like I said, I just got to get the column piece connected, if you can look up there, and I'm waiting for a couple of Heim joints to come in for that. But once I get that on there, then it should work, and I can test it out, make sure it goes through the gears and everything, and then I'll do something permanently with this. So all right, so that part is done. Just like I said, I spent 3 days trying to figure out how I was going to do this, and I was trying to extend that arm right there, but I needed to cut the arm shorter to clear the transmission tunnel, not extend it. Okay, so I spent way more time than I wanted to on the shift linkage, and I've been looking up Google, reading all the forums and everything, and it seems that the V8 cars had a different shift linkage there than the 6-cylinder cars, and I've been trying to find the shift linkage for a V8 car, and it's almost impossible to find. So I had to try to make my own. So that's why I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out. And because of the way the linkage is, it just, trying to put it on a modern transmission, there's nothing that'll really bolt up without having some kind of fabrication to it. So that's why I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the shift linkage. But I also got other stuff done. It's just like I said, it's been 3 days that I was working on the shift linkage, so I probably forgot exactly what I said I was going to do in the beginning of this video. But I know I got the radiator sitting in there. I didn't bolt it down yet because I'm going to have to pull it back out. The transmission cooler fittings on the radiator are a lot smaller than modern vehicles, so I have to try to find an adapter to get that on, or a reducer, an adapter that goes in one size and reduce it down to, I think it's like a 5/16 that goes in it. So I got to get that. So I'm not going to mount the radiator in until I get that done, but it's sitting in the car. I did get the alternator bracket on. I thought the charging harness with the starter wires was had alternator wires in it too, but it didn't. So apparently that part of it is on the other harness that I'm waiting to get back. So I just got the alternator bracket on there. It's bolted up, and just like I said, I got the transmission mount in there, cross member in there, got the transmission cooler lines on there, and I didn't put the exhaust coming from the manifolds, the extensions, I didn't put that on there, but you may have seen it in the video. What I was doing is just testing it out, just so that I'll know that we can get an exhaust on there without interfering with the shifter linkage. So that's why I got it in there. I just put it on there just to see if it'll work without messing with the shifter linkage. So again, I spent more time on the shifter linkage than I wanted to, but it's something that needed to be done, and I'm gonna tie a lot of the stuff back together so we can get back to doing the major stuff. And I'm gonna be pulling some late nights at the shop to try to get this Maverick done, because my goal was to have the Maverick moving under its own power by before the end of July. So that's my goal, and I'm gonna have to pull some late nights at the shop just to get to it. So thanks for watching. Click out on that subscribe button if you haven't, click that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.